Hey guys, what's up? It's me, the-kyle-chronicles, and this week I'm gonna kind of debunk the trans narrative that is so often told. In case you don't really understand what that sentence means, it means I'm gonna tell you guys the differences that trans narratives can have, because the most popular one that's portrayed in like all kinds of media is somebody noticed they were different when they were little, grew up, came out as gay, bisexual, or lesbian, because they didn't really have a word for their gender, eventually came out as transgender or non-binary, got on hormone therapy, and went through with all the surgeries available. And while that may be true for some people, and like no harm if that is how your transition and everything has gone, it's not necessarily the truth for everybody. So the first part that is like I want you guys to take away from this is not every trans or non-binary person knows that they are trans or non-binary when they are little. Some cases, yeah, definitely, there's like hints here and there, or they figure it out at like the age of 5, but a lot of people don't know until later on in life, and that's not just me telling you this. My gender psychiatrist, Dr. Warnicki, you can search him up, he's well known, also says that not everybody knows when they're little. They find out when they're older. There's some people in their 60s just finding out because there's a word and it's more public. I didn't know until like grade 11, kinda, maybe grade 10, and I was somewhere between the ages of 15 and 17 at that point. So in no way did I know when I was like 2 years old or anything, but that doesn't make me or you guys any less trans or non-binary. Again, with the whole narrative thing, not all of us come out as something else first. I know a lot of people come out as lesbian or gay, etc., because it's kind of easier for them to grasp that part of their identity. Like, sexuality is a lot easier to grasp than gender identity, I find, so they come out as something like that first. But it doesn't mean we all do. I mean, for me, I did. I came out as gender fluid first off. If you've been subscribed for a while, you know that. And that was kind of me dipping my toes in the gender water and seeing like how my parents and everything reacted. But not everybody does that. Some people come out right away. Some people never come out, and that's fine. Again, does not invalidate anybody's identity. The point being is that the trans narrative needs to change, saying we all do this and then come out as that, because it's not always true. Another thing that the media really likes to portray is if you're a trans guy, you are like a man, and if you're a trans woman, you are like feminine as all hell. But that's not true for a lot of people. I'm a trans guy, and I'm hairy, and I stink sometimes, but guess what? I also have like 50 teddy bears on my bed, and I like cute girly things still, but that doesn't make me any less of a guy. That just makes me a guy with more feminine aligned interests. Same for trans girls. Not all of them want long flowing hair and to wear dresses all the time. Sometimes they just want to wear like jeans and a t-shirt and have a short haircut, but that doesn't mean they're just a feminine guy. They are still a trans woman, just with a more masculine appearance. If you are trans or non-binary but don't necessarily pass of what society's standards say you should, like, it doesn't invalidate you at all. You do you. You're still you, okay? I hope that makes sense. With the transition aspect of it, as I mentioned, a lot of the more popular media portrays trans people as getting on hormones, getting top surgery, getting bottom surgery for trans guys or trans girls, and then they're finally happy. But that's not the case for everybody. For me, I'm on hormones, I want top surgery, but I don't want bottom surgery. It's really not that big of a deal for me. I'm lucky, I guess. I don't get a lot of bottom dysphoria, and that's fine. One of my favorite YouTubers, Ty Turner, actually recently made a video talking about being a guy with a vagina, and that kind of explains my thoughts on the entire thing, so I'll link that in my description. But I'm not gonna go through with every surgery, because that's not what a lot of trans people want. And same for trans girls. There's plenty who never get bottom surgery, and that's fine. It's more heard of to at least get top surgery, but even if you don't want that, it doesn't change anything. Some trans people never go on hormones, and some because they just can't afford it, and some because they don't feel the need to, and that's fine. Again, your identity is still valid 110,000%. But it just, I want this to get out so people realize that there's not one version of being trans. Like, trans people are the same as humankind. Like, there's a diverse amount, and we come in all shapes and sizes, and we are all unique in our experiences and the things we want to do. Another thing, in the media, it's always portrayed that if you're a trans guy, you like girls. If you're a trans girl, you like guys. But that's not the case, because gender and sexuality are two separate parts of an identity, and not all of us are going to end up straight. I'm a trans guy and I'm pansexual. Nothing wrong with that. I have a friend who is a trans girl and she's bisexual but leans more towards women. So not all of us end up straight, and I know, crazy thought, but we maintain those two different aspects of our identity no matter what, you know? Something else is, not everybody wants to be open about being trans. There's something called stealth, which is when you're further along in your transition and you can pass. If you meet somebody new, or like say you go away to college, you are like 100% the gender you say you are, obviously, but you don't feel the need to tell people you are trans, and you don't really want them to know that, and that's fine. If you're living stealth, you do you. I could never do it because I like being outspoken about my identity and like raising awareness and stuff, but it doesn't make you a bad person for not wanting to be open about that. Even if you're in the closet, same thing. It doesn't make you a bad person for not coming out. You have to come out on your own terms and when you're ready, and if you want to. If you never want to, that's cool too. Not all of us have to be out and, you know, openly open about everything. Something that ties into that is not all of us want to be trans activists. I know a lot of trans people in like the center of the media. They're always activists, authors, people who speak out about LGBT issues, specifically the T part. And that's cool, that's awesome. I'm so happy that we're discovering more activists for our community. But not all of us want to do that. Some of us just want to live our lives. We're trans. Can I go now? Is that all? Like, not all of us want to be outspoken and raise awareness for everything and call out transphobia every time we see it. Like, we just want to live our life. Preferably in peace, but we all know politicians can't let that happen. Another thing is, not all of us want to pass. This kind of ties in with the whole not all of us want to be on hormones and everything, but some of us, I know a lot of non-binary people take hormones for just enough amount of time for changes to set in and then stop because those changes remain permanent, and they're fine with that. They want more of the androgynous look, and that's cool. And they don't necessarily pass as feminine or masculine. Some trans guys never take hormones and they don't pass as masculine, but that doesn't mean they're not a guy. I know it's kind of like repetition for the point I mentioned, but like, not all of us are the same, okay? Not all of us want the same things. We all have different goals for our transition and for ourselves, because we're people. We're normal people. Just so happens not the gender we were born as, if that makes sense. I think I worded that correctly. I really don't mean to offend anyone with this video, by the way. If you do fit everything I stated, that's cool too. Like, this is in no way bashing you guys who fit the media's narrative of trans people. I just wanted to make this to explain that there are more than just that one box of trans people. There's a bunch of boxes, colorful boxes, shades of boxes. You get the point. Lots of boxes, and we're all in our own box. But that's really all this video is about. I want to make more videos about gender and stuff, and like explaining to whoever watches, whether that be one person or like 10 people, I don't have high hopes for this, that there is more than one kind of thing, even though the media likes to just pinpoint all of us in one box. I hope that made sense. Also, I'm sorry for not posting these past few weeks. I've kind of been really lazy. And then my uncle came to visit. Yeah, mostly laziness. But I will see you guys next week. I hope you learned something. Feel free to share this with people so they can, you know, understand that we're not all the same, even though we share a common factor. And yeah, bye.